Hey guys, welcome to this regen help video I have for you here today. This is going to be my little hint and tip video on how to find good regens, or how I find regens. Now, I just want to say a few things before we get onto this. There is no right or wrong way to search for regens. There are many ways to do it. There is no best way. There is no crap way. Well, there are many crap ways, but there are no right or wrong way. That I say there are several ways, and this is just how I do it. I'm sure there's going to be people in comments saying your ways of doing it is rubbish. I like it my way, and it's like, well, yeah, I don't give a shit about your way. This is my way. It's my video. No, fuck off. No, I'm only kidding. But this is how I do it, and a lot of people have asked, how do you find your regens? And basically, I'm going to answer that question. How do I find my regens? As you would suggest by the title of the video. So this is what I do. I go to the search tab. Bear in mind this is FMC, but I think it translates as well to the full game. Now we'll go with young regens. Okay, we'll go for when I talk about regens, usually we mean up and coming players. Like say age between roughly 16 and say 23. However, obviously, if you are so far into the game that basically every player is a regen, we'll go over that first. Generally, by just finding a player, all I do is just see who's transfer listed, and also you could change usually the asking price as well to say 2.5 million. And there's Nastasic, Real Madrid. His asking price is, we go here, 1.2 million. That is strangely tempting. I might actually go for that too. And I mean, look at that. I found a player straight away. But there's Nastasic, the Real Madrid, £2.5 million centre back. Whose potential value is 6.25 million. See how that is straight away. All I've done is go to add condition, transfer status, and is transfer listed. It's really that simple. But regens, the first thing, let's take off the transfer. So basically, we've got every player here. They're sorted by value. Now, value doesn't always mean quality. I mean, chances are, if they are, near the top here, they are going to be rather special players. But what I do. So if you're looking for just young regens, up and coming players, firstly, what I do is I get the age condition here and rank it about between 15, which is the lowest it'll go, and 18. Now, you do need a bit of scouting for this. Usually, you'll have a scout. If you join a club, usually there will be a scout somewhere. You don't have to do a lot for this. In fact, you don't have to do anything. Usually, there will be a scout, often doing something like... you'll have these stars. You'll have certain players will have stars next to them, and obviously, 4-star, 5-star. You'll know what it means. Generally, some players have already been signed up because they have so much good potential. They will be signed up immediately by their team. But generally, what you're going to want is youth players. If they have, the easiest way to get them is by youth, by offering them professional contracts, because they haven't been offered professional contracts by their club yet. And let's just take these two. We've got Castilla here, the Real Madrid youth team. But first of all, obviously, just because they're high up doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be good. What you need to do is you go to Scout and you get your Scout report and do that. And let's go with these guys. So, but one other way of filtering this as well is you add the condition of contract status, I think, is youth. Even though it's up there, actually, I don't need that. Go try this one. You have your contract status up here. Obviously, expired. This is how you find free agents as well. Your contract status expired, in case you didn't know. You go to youth and basically see that, and you rank it by that. I mean, look at this guy. Okay, he's already been snapped up, strangely. And basically, if you right click on the names and you have contracts personalized, that is basically the simplest way. It's almost a guarantee. I mean, not every time. You're not gonna. Some players will just say, "I'm not interested in negotiating with your club because either your club's not big enough or anything like that." Now, I'm just gonna holiday this real quick. Just I realise I'm in the middle of a season, but let's just holiday this just for simplicity. I'm not going to save this, by the way, so if we win or lose, whatever, I'm not going to save it. Hi, I'm in the middle of a season, but I'm sure you've already seen this. There you go, beat Southampton. So, there we go. So, like Montero should be regarded as a definite purchase. So, we have a look then at the report. 4.5 stars. Okay, he's already youth. I can't offer him can I? Okay, you right click, approach to sign, and there you go. Now, sometimes you do get them as backup, which is kind of silly. But if you just negotiate a bit, lower it down. I realise £11,000 for a youngster is a bit daft. That is, I'll admit that is ridiculous. Offer contract again if that's available. and £12,000 a backup. So let's just go with that. I always push me luck and sort of just knock it down a bit. Like £1,000, there you go. Just saved £1,000 a month or a week. Even I'm on a week. And then we've got who have we got here? Gorka Montero. Let's offer this guy. See, they're all regens, and he's a backup. He wants a little bit more. Okay. And obviously the start date is not till the end of the season, because that's when the contract runs out. But obviously you do have to pay a few million in compensation. But for what they could potentially be, they are that's pennies compared to what they're going to be, and that is basically how I find these players. Now, you do need a bit of scouting in there, but generally, if you don't have your scouts or anything like that, keep it to make sure your contract status is youth, and let's crank it up to 20. I mean, I sincerely doubt you'll find anyone who is still in the youth contract age of 20. Actually, that's silly. Just rank it by value, and I think and look, there's one straight away. Just right-click the player, offer a contract. Now, so you can find some transfer listed ones. Now, this is not as good, to be honest. Usually, this doesn't work as such. Usually, because the transfer listed ones aren't very good, and there's a reason why they've been getting rid of. But occasionally, it's worth a look, just because you might find a player who wants a new challenge, or just occasionally you come across a genuine gem. Or you can click anything like that. So, obviously, got your scouts as a potential ability, and usually when the scouts do, go off and do that, you generally don't have to do anything. They are already out there for you. They were already there before, doing their scouting before you even arrived at the club. Generally, as well, if you go to the scouting now, I'm just trying to remember how to do this because I haven't done it for a while. Scouting assignments. Now, again, you just say new assignment. Let's see, you choose him, assignment, and that hasn't worked. Why is it not doing that? Okay, that's clearly not worked. Well, I think FMC, the scouting on FMC is extremely... See, look, he's scouting Chile there. And, generally, scouts will be already going somewhere, like he's in Chile at the moment. For some reason, on FM Classic, it doesn't really... I don't actually know how, because I've not been able to find it anywhere, how you actually set up a new scout report. Like I say, I'm looking now. I cannot literally find it anywhere. So that is quite unfortunate. Consider and you've got all his reports here. So if you ever want that, like that's a region, by the way, called Yaya Torre, just to point out, not the real one. And there's one here, and okay, he's a youth, but generally the one you want to look for is that youth symbol. That's the key. But again, I'll just go over it again in case you've forgotten or whatever, or you can't be asked to rewind the video back. Generally, I look for youth, and obviously it's down to your scouts. I'd let the game just play out, and find these youngsters, and it does take a while, I'm not going to lie, but this is, and I mentioned before, this is not the way to do it. There are many other ways, but this is what I do, and a lot of people have asked, how do I do it? Well, this is how I do it. So I put the contract status as youth, look for their ages, let my scouts find, generally, it's hit and miss. I mean, you're not going to find every single 5-star potential youth on it, but you're going to find some, and if you find some, you can assemble 5 or 6. They all grow up, and you build your team around them. You're not going to find 11 regens with 5-star potential. That's quite rare. And if you have, then fair enough. But I'd say you just right-click the name, contracts, approach the sign, and there you go. Hot prospect. He's got 4-star potential, worth a shot. 1.4 million in compensation. There you go. And he will probably sign later on. And that is quite literally it. That is all I do. Obviously, if you have another way, just say in the comments, and I'm sure people will listen to your advice. But this, as I say, I'll say it again, because people get angry at me because apparently this way doesn't work for them. This is not the only way, but this is just simply my way. This has worked for me, and it continues to work for me. It worked for me on FM12, and it works for me here on FM13. So, that is how I find young regens. So, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in another video then. So, goodbye from me for now.